Day 48. It's been 48 days in a row of waking up and just sitting with my eyes closed and paying attention for 2 hours to identifying everything that I'm not, all of these things that I'm not, and to get glimpses of what I really am. The glimpses I can't see with my head. I can't see, um, I can't see what I really am with my head. It's like a thought will come up, and then another thought identifies it and goes, that's a thought to get rid of. These are all thoughts, just this giant collection. And then I'm sitting here and all these thoughts are happening, like, that's one, okay, get rid of that, okay, look at that, no, just love it. And everything that at one point was an insight is now a way of teaching that now is not an insight anymore. In other words, an insight is when you realize something and then that comes out of nowhere, and then that insight suddenly is the new way you see something. But the next day, it's not an insight, it's now yesterday's teaching. So sometimes I'll have a thought, and then I'll have another thought that goes, okay, just love it. And then I'll have another thought that goes, what if you just allow it? Okay, don't try to get rid of it. And all these insights start to show up, but they aren't insights anymore because I knew that they were an insight like last week. So now they're just an old thought because I'm supposed to have a new insight. And I can feel that they're not an insight anymore because they don't come out of here, they come out of here. They feel heavier. So I sit here with my eyes closed, and there's times where I'll realize something and feel the release of something. I'll feel it's different. There's a feeling of expansion. There's a feeling of release. There's a feeling of entering my body more. Those are insights. When it goes, oh, it's this way. Oh. And then I get to enjoy that freedom for a minute. And then I'm now more open. And then I start up again the next day, more open. And then I go, okay, what was it I learned yesterday? And I try to use what I learned yesterday, but it doesn't work anymore. So my mind goes, okay, what was it we learned? What was the insight yesterday? And then we go, oh, I get it, blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't work because that was the teaching you learned to get from 3rd to 4th grade. But now you're in 4th grade and you got to go to 5th grade. So you can't use the 3rd grade teaching to get from 4th grade to 5th grade, right? So that's why what's so amazing is you still have to stay in the room and expand. You can't ever outwit your evolution because you want to just go, what was the thing I learned yesterday? So you can speed it up and then go do whatever, but then you'll really stay the same. So if I stay in the place and go, no, I get it. I get these insights. Yesterday's insight is trying to show up today, and I'm trying to use yesterday's method, but it doesn't work. That's why every day I can make a whole different video for you and for me, because I really do learn something new. If I learned just the same one thing, or I just kept using the same, if I used whatever I learned on day 3 again on day 7, then I would have nothing new to say. And we're about infinite growth, and we're about learning what we truly, truly, truly are. Every day we get closer to it. But life would be really boring if we figured it out all the way immediately. So what I discovered today, which won't be my truth tomorrow because I'm going to try to mentally rediscover tomorrow. Or maybe I won't now because I'm more aware of that, right? Now I'm aware of that. And so maybe I won't try to do that anymore. Maybe I'll notice immediately that I'm trying to do it and it won't work. So I'll stop it. I don't know if this makes any sense to you because I'm now in a place where I'm really deep with myself. If you're doing the meditations every day, this might make sense. But if you just go to this video first I might just look insane. But that's interesting to me, how much we paint people that are often coming from a place of love and freedom. I don't mean me, but a lot of times we just look at these speakers and different people, authors, and we go, that's just insanity. And we don't realize that they're exuding a place of freedom and happiness and love. And we're angry all day saying that they're insane. And whether this is insane or not, I'm on a massive, massive discovery of ways to make life simpler and more freeing and more healthy and more exciting, just routes that are much quicker to like, you're sitting here, like we're putting the cart before the horse and fixing the symptoms and never the core issue. We're changing our symptoms temporarily and numbing our symptoms, and we're making our circumstances, attempting to make them better to mask how much pain we're on inside. And instead, let's take care of the pain we're on inside and let the freedom and the love radiate on the outside. And I feel that happening with me. About 3 weeks ago, I said something about a belief that I was in the middle of identifying and letting go of. And that belief was about relationships. That I believed that I couldn't be in a relationship and be free. And just from gradually identifying so many underlying thoughts in me for the last 3 weeks, I don't really feel that way anymore. It still lingers, there's still fear, but there won't be in a couple weeks, because all pain, all fear is a matter of perception, except for when your life's actually in danger. That's fight or flight kicking in and going, get out of here. But we don't need to use fight or flight all day, all the time, because of our belief of our worthiness based on our childhood or our past. What we need to do is let our past get the hell out of here through new levels of acceptance. Because constant resistance of who we used to be keeps us who we used to be. And new acceptance of who we used to be causes us to be the love that loves what we used to be, so it cannot be our identity. So what's, I guess today is just no teaching that comes through is the truth. It's just that day's lesson to help you expand one more inch, because your growth didn't come from the teaching. Your growth came from the evolving. Your growth came from the evolution of you discovering something new that day. But it's not the discovery of what you've learned, because then you'll make that teaching your God. You'll make that teaching more important than you. Instead, it's that you grew. It's that you grew an inch bigger. And for instance, you went through all 12 grades in high school, right? Some of us. Well, it's not like we went third grade. Everything I learned in third grade is life fact. It's stuff you learned on the way, and it's a stack of lessons that are inside of you. But the entire process of all the grades is what you are. You're the process, not the revelation's information. You're the space that the revelation occurred in. Day 48.